Welcome to today's presentation. Today's presentation is about our final project. Let's go by the name of Today Timeline. Our group consists of 4 members, including Tamnan, Poon, Poo, and Win. The objective of our project is to allow the user to be able to efficiently compile and consolidate a task schedule, including task due date, and provide a clear overview of what needs to be done. Now, we will go over what needs to be put in as input in order to make the program work. First, the program begins by prompting the user to input the scheduled start date, which must match the display format. This start date is stored as a reference date to ensure no task can be added with a due date earlier than this. Next, the user is guided to enter the first task by providing a task name, a description, and a valid due date. After the first task is added, the program displays the task table, and finally, the user is shown an interactive menu with the number of options to manage the task list. Now, let's talk about the output. The program will output a table that displays all the key task information, such as name, description, and due date. It is presented in a format table alongside the menu of interactive options. Then, tasks are automatically sorted by their due date, with the earliest task always at the top of the list. So, after any update, the screen refreshes to display a new updated table showing all the current tasks.
Next is the function behind this program. The first one is entry. This one add line at the end of user input, or this is input function. Next is a get valid date. This one turns string date into datetime object and check whether or not it is in the correct format. If it's in invalid format, the message invalid date, please enter a valid date will appear. And next is the check date after start. So this one use datetime function to determine whether the date is in a valid date or is it after the starting date that is entered. And this function will loop until a valid date is entered. Next is check unique name. This one uses loop and dig to check whether or not the task is already on the table. If it's already in the table, the message task already exists. Please enter a new task name will appear. And for check name exists, this one is the opposite of check unique name. This one also use loop and dig, but this one is to make sure that the task already exists before we are editing or removing the task from the table. And for show task menu, this one is a function to print out the choices after a table has been created to whether add a task, remove one, or editing one. The check case function. This one is a function for checking if the user entered the correct choice or a valid choice for editing the table. If it's an invalid choice, a message telling that it's an invalid choice and please enter a new number will appear on the screen. Add task start with entry to set up the task name as the input, and then check whether or not this is the first task added to a list. And use entry for a task description to be the new input, and then get valid date to force the user to enter a valid format date, and check date after start to check whether or not the date entered is a valid date or not. Then after all of this is done and the date is already valid, the due date will be set as the new input. And then all of this will be put into a list and then print to notify the user that the task is already added to the list. Sort task is to sort the task based on the due date, starting from the top with the one with the closest due date. View task, this one is for creating a table using tabulate based on the task and its information from the list. Remove task is one of the choices. This one is to remove a task from the table, starting with entry to let the input be what needed to be removed, and check name exists to check whether or not the name is already in the table, and use loop to check for a name in the list. When one is found, the task and its information will be removed from the list. Edit task is for changing an information about a task, excluding its name, starting with entry, so let the program use its input to check the task, and check if the task is already in the table or not. Then find the task name using loop again, and then give out choices after a task has been found. The first one is to update the task description. Second one is to update the task due date. And the third one is to update both. And then use case and check case to let the program check which choice has been entered. Edit task description function is for the program to replace a specific task description with a new input. Edit task date is a function for the program to replace a specific task due date with a new input that is in a valid date format.
So here's the demonstration of how the code works. Now the program asks for the start date and the user enter the start date following the provided format. After press enter, the program displays two new lines, one showing the starting date and the other asking for the task name. After that, the program asks for the task description. And lastly, it asks for the task due date. After inputting all the detail, the code outputs the table that displays all the key task information, including names, description, and due date. And below the table, the program displays three interactive options. And right now, the user choosing the option 1, which is adding a task. Similar to adding the first task, the program asks for the name, description, and the due date. But there's a problem because the user input the due date before the start date, which caused the code to ask for a new date. Here come another problem. The user input the year in the wrong format, which caused the code to ask for a new date. There's also a problem with this one. Since the second month only have 30 days, putting the 31st as the date is considered a wrong format. Right now, the user entered everything correctly, so the program displays the new table with the new task added. Below the table, there is three interactive options displayed, but this time, the user chooses option 3, which is to edit a task. After entering the task name that he wants to edit, the code displays three more interactive options, and the user chooses the third option, which is to edit both description and the due date. After inputting all the required detail, the code displays the updated table, and below the table, there are three interactive options again, but this time, the user chooses option 2, which is to remove a task. After entering the task name that you want to remove, the code displays the table with the code removed. Next, I will talk about the critical aspect of our development process, how AI tools help us develop the code. During the development process, AI tools were used to learn the basic concept of date time and tabulate library. Both libraries contain multiple new built-in functions that are essential to the programs. AI tools were used to explain the use of each function in the library as well as how to use them. Moreover, these tools are also used to refine the code. The tools were used to ensure that the code logic is flowing clearly and all the functions are organized in the way in which each function can be traced easily. A flowchart was generated by AI to visualize and check the logic of the program. Our project fulfills all the assignment requirements. Thus, regarding libraries, we implemented two external libraries now covered in lectures, Daytime for validation and Tabulate for formatting. Both significantly enhance the program usability. Second, regarding structure, our code exceeds 100 lines and utilizes over 5 distinct functions to handle tasks like adding, sorting, and editing. This prevents duplication and keeps the program organized. We also demonstrated all required knowledge The code integrates if-else statements, loops, lists, and dictionaries, proving that we can efficiently use standard data, structures, and logic. Regarding difficulty, we went beyond the basics by self-teaching new libraries and implementing robust logic to handle user errors and complex inputs. Finally, regarding best practices, we use descriptive variable names and helper functions to ensure the code is easy to read, maintain, and expand. Overall, our project satisfies the library, structure, and difficulty requirements while demonstrating solid programming practices.